I'm Maria, and today I'm going to be reading Possum Pals Lessons in Proverbs by Lisa Evonne Turner. Possum Hollow is the home of two country possums, PV and BJ, and their favorite farm friends called the Possum Pals. In the middle of the hollow is a grassy meadow by a pond, and the pal's name, the spot Possum Place. There is a big oak tree standing close by the pond, and the pals made it the Possum Place meeting tree. The meeting tree's big branches spread out over the pond on one side and provide shade and shelter all around. The Possum Pals are there every day talking, laughing, learning from each other, and having fun. The Possum Pals are Country Kitten the cat, Sammy Swims the fish, Vinny the fox, Jeb and Spur the horses, Pepper the skunk, Legs the frog, Tilly the frog, the turtle, Bandit the raccoon, Grady the dog, Hooey the owl, and of course PV and BJ the possums. Pause, be yourself. Proverbs 14:30, a sound heart is life to the body, but envy and rottenness to the bones. PV followed closely behind BJ as they scuttled to the meeting tree by the pond. BJ climbed up to the high branches and looked down to the clear water below. "Oh look, there's Sammy Swims, and there's Country Kitty coming over by the creek," said BJ as he wrapped his tail around a tree branch. "It reminds me of the day they tried to swap places. Do you remember that, PV?" Just then PV caught up, stretched and yawned as she replied, Yes, but I sure do. BJ, I sure do. That day caused quite a stir at Possum Hollow. I remember it. PV told the story that happened like this. Underneath the Possum Place meeting tree is a beautiful clear fish pond. This is where the spunky goldfish named Sammy Swims lives. Sammy blows air bubbles underneath the water to watch them rise on their way to the surface. Sammy's lively color is reflected in the clear water. It's easy to see him. They're blowing bubbles and swimming around. Sometimes Sammy wonders what it would be like to go where the bubbles go. Country Kitty visits Sammy every day. She watches him swim and then rests in the warm sun before heading back to the barn. Country plays with Sammy by dabbing her paws lightly at the top of the water. Sammy comes up to her, reaching out with his puckered lips. They enjoy their daily visits, even though he's in the water and she's on the shore. One day, Country was playing with Sammy when she wondered what it would be like to be a fish. She said to Sammy, "I wish I could swim in the nice clear water like you do," Sammy replied, bubbles rising with each word. "Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be outside of the water like you are." Country suddenly had an idea to jump in the water. Without any warning to Sammy, she dove in with a loud shriek. Sammy was bumped up into the air by the splash. "Oh no," Sammy cried out. He fell through the air a short distance. He flew through the air a short distance. He landed on the sandy slope of the pond's edge. "I can't breathe, I can't move the way I do in the water. Help me, Country," he cried out. Sammy didn't like the way his scales and fins felt stiff and rigid outside the water. Country Kitty was trying to swim, but was only flopping around. "Oh no," she replied. "I don't think I know how to swim. I've got to get out of here." She didn't like the way the water felt on her nicely groomed fur. Finally, Country wiggled out of the pond and saw Sammy lying there barely moving. His gills were heaving up and down as he was trying hard to grasp for air. Country shook off the water and realized her friend was in real trouble. Legs was nearby sitting on a log working up a new tune on his banjo when he heard the commotion. Country began to call out for Legs. Legs! Legs! I need help getting Sammy back into the pond. Please hurry over here. Country was worried she'd harm Sammy with her sharp claws if she tried to help him. Plus, she was already afraid of the water now. When he heard Country calling for him, Legs promptly hopped over to help. What in the world happened here, friends? He croaked. Country replied, There's no time to explain right now. We've got to get Sammy back where he belongs. Legs hopped over to Sammy and quickly tossed his friend back into the water. Sammy was glad to feel the cool water rush over his fins. He took a big lump of water as he fled to the bottom of the pond. Sammy blew only a few bubbles this time while he slowly moved his fins back and forth. It was several minutes before he felt like swimming to the surface again. He thought, now I'm sure about where I'm supposed to be. Country quickly started cleaning her wet fur. She said, Now I know I don't like swimming or being in the water. I'll just watch Sammy from now on. She spurred out, Sammy, I'm sorry. I didn't know that jumping in the water would hurt you. I'm glad you're okay. Sammy came closer to the surface. He smiled up through the bubbles at Country Kitten, then puckered his lips. Country reached her neat and clean paw out to him, lightly dabbing the top of the water. Back at the meeting tree, PV watched BJ fall from the branch and tried not to laugh. She said sweetly, Well, BJ, you'll just have to keep trying until you get used to your long tail. BJ replied, I am used to my long tail. It was the long branch that got me. BV replied as they headed back to the barn. Oh, that is a lesson for another day. The end.